If you must blink, do it now. Pay careful attention to everything you see and hear, no matter how unusual it may seem.
It's here.
That's bad.
That's really bad.
We have to destroy this thing.
A frog is a cold-blooded animal, and humans are warm-blooded, so our body burns energy or perspires to maintain the same 98.6 degrees. The cold-blooded frog's body temperature goes up and down with the temperature of its surroundings.
If a frog jumps into a pot of boiling water, it jumps right out again because it senses the danger. But the very same frog, if it jumps into a pot of lukewarm water that is slowly brought to a boil, will just sit there and it won't move. It'll just sit there even as the temperature continues to go up and up. It'll stay there until
En mi vida había sentido algo tan feo. Se sintió primero suave, ya después, ya acostada, tembló bastante y fue impresionante como empezamos a bajar por las escaleras y una vez bajando por las escaleras tembló más fuerte, que sentía que nos batuqueábamos y eso fue horrible, de verdad.
Lamentablemente hemos tenido ya reporte de pérdida de vidas humanas y de varias afectaciones materiales que todavía no podemos cuantificar. Lo habremos de hacer tanto en horas y eventualmente en días, cuando sepamos a mayor detalle cuáles fueron los daños que este sismo haya dejado.
Hurricane Irma, the most powerful Atlantic storm ever recorded, laid waste to parts of the Caribbean overnight, pummeling Turks and Caicos, hammering the Bahamas, and taking aim at South Florida, home to millions. The storm's death toll rose to 18, but officials warn the figure will increase as rescue workers search through the rubble on islands that have seen over 90% of all buildings destroyed. Well, as Florida braces for Hurricane Irma. In Texas, at least 5 people have died amidst catastrophic flooding in Houston, the 4th largest city in the United States. The crisis began on Friday when Hurricane Harvey made landfall in Rockport, Texas. It was the most powerful hurricane to hit Texas in more than half a century. The National Weather Service issued a warning saying, quote, "This event is unprecedented and all impacts are unknown and beyond anything experienced. Follow orders from officials to ensure safety," unquote. The Washington Post reports the storm's already dumped more than 9 trillion gallons of water, enough water to fill the Great Salt Lake and Salt Lake City twice. And meteorologists project another 5 to 10 trillion gallons of water could be dumped on the region in coming days.
While Houston remains underwater after a historic storm, we turn now to look at massive flooding across the globe in South Asia. Over the past month, more than 1,200 people have died amidst flooding in Bangladesh, Nepal, and India. This year's monsoon season has brought torrential downpours that have submerged wide swaths of South Asia, destroying tens of thousands of homes, schools, and hospitals, and affecting up to 40 million people. Flood victims in southern Nepal say they have lost everything.
Aid organizations are warning this is one of the worst regional humanitarian crises in years, with millions of people facing severe food shortages and disease caused by polluted floodwater. Talk about, let's take one country, Bangladesh. A third of Bangladesh is underwater. Can you talk about how many people have died just in the last few weeks there, and the significance of what is happening now in this region and its connection to two words you almost never hear? I'm not only talking about Fox, but on MSNBC and CNN as they cover the devastation in Houston almost 24 hours a day. And those two words, of course, climate change or climate chaos or climate disruption.
It's true that no single event makes a trend. But the fact is, the 12 hottest years on record have all come in the last 50. Heat waves, droughts, wildfires, floods, all are now more frequent and more intense. We can choose to believe that Superstorm Sandy and the most severe drought in decades and the worst wildfires some states have ever seen were all just a freak coincidence. Or we can choose to believe in the overwhelming judgment of science and act before it's too late.
Yahshua.
In the morning light.